Hey guys, welcome to the Girl Take No Podcast YouTube channel. I am Shawnee Sanders, host of the Girl Take No Podcast. And this is part 3 of a series that we're doing called Podcasting for Beginners, where we teach you how to create a podcast on your own and how to manage your podcast and all the things you need in order to have a successful podcast. Today, we are talking about how to create a space for your podcast. Now, when you become a podcaster, you've already picked your topic. You already know what your name of your podcast is going to be. And you know it's something that you want to do. At this point now, you have to figure out a way to create a space in your home for your podcast. And what's so beautiful about podcasting is that it can be done right out of your home. You don't have to go and buy a studio. You don't have to go rent a studio. It's something that can be done right in the comforts of your home. You just have to create the space for it. As you can see, I am in the Girl Take No Podcast studio. This is actually a space in my basement in my home that I dedicated to my podcasting studio. And the reason why you want to dedicate a space to your studio is because you don't want to have to move your equipment back and forth. Once you set up your lighting, once you set up your cameras, once you get your microphone set up, your chairs, and all your other things that's going to create this really cool space for you, you don't want to have it mobile and be able to take down and put back up every time you decide to do a show. So you want to have a stationary place where you're able to do it. A lot of people choose a room in their house, because you can have a closed room in your house where you don't have to have all this window lighting because you want to be able to control the lighting in your space. Right now, I control this lighting in my space. My basement has a window and a sliding door, but it's on the opposite side of the room. So in this space, it's really dark, but I liked it because I get to control how much lighting you see in this space. And that is one of the keys to creating your space in your podcast. And you really want to make it your own. You want to make it very comfortable for you and what it's going to be, because you're going to spend a lot of time there doing shows and recording different things. So make sure it's something that's really inviting for you. You want to have some backlighting, which I have here to kind of give the back of kind of a pop. I have my Girl Take No Podcast sign that's behind me also to kind of give that extra branding feel. And I also use my podcasting, my brand colors in my podcast studio. And so I made it very personalized for me. As you can see, it's very girly, which is Girl Take Note. But this is what I like. And I have 2 chairs in here, 2 mics, and I have guests come in, or either I do virtual guests. So also you want to remind yourself that you want to be in a space where you're going to get good reception, because that's everything when it comes to doing virtual interviews. You want to make sure your reception is good and that you're not going to lose quality and that you're not going to, phone is going to die simply because you don't have the reception that you need. So make sure you choose a space that's really going to stand out for you and that you can really create it as your own. Brand it, put up things that are part of your brand, put up a sign for your podcast. Make sure you throw in the colors. Make sure you throw in whatever your podcast represents. That's the space you want to create, but just make sure it's comfortable for you. Make sure you choose chairs that are comfortable. Make sure you choose microphones. We're going to do a video in terms of when it comes to equipment to choose for your podcasting studio if you are a beginner, where you don't have to spend a lot of money on getting your show and your studio set up. But choose a space in your home that's going to be for you, and it's going to definitely make it something that really works well for you. As I said, I chose the space in my basement because this works for me. I don't have to move my equipment. My equipment stays up all day, every day, all year round, simply because I'm not in the habit of moving things back and forth. I get really good lighting down here, and that's what you want to make sure you have. So you're going to choose a space, create a space that is definitely for you. And it's so important when we think about our environment and where we do things. And if this is a space that you're going to spend a lot of time in, then you want to create a really good environment that is going to be inviting for you, that is going to be comfortable for you to be in. You don't want to create a space that is not, that you just don't really feel good in, that you feel like it's too cold or it's too dark or it's too gray. You want to do a space and you want to create a space that is going to be just for you and something that you like and something that is going to make you feel good being in that studio. I love my studio. I will definitely give a tour of the studio in another video. Actually, I do have a video on my page that gives you a tour of the studio. You can go check that out. How I did my DIY podcasting studio. So you don't need a professional to come in and create your space for you. You can really do everything on your own. I did everything in this studio myself, and I'm pretty proud of it. So it's a DIY studio, and you can do the same. So don't think that you have to spend a lot of money for people to come in and create some kind of space for you, when all you need is, if you're going to do a desk, you could do a desk or a table. You could get yourself a good chair. You get yourself a table in the behind you, some good lighting. And that's really all you need when it comes to launching your podcast, just being very basic for beginners. Once you evolve and grow your podcast, then you can create a better space and do it different ways, bring in a couch and stuff like that, whatever you choose you want. But when you're in your home, you can even choose a space in your home that you feel like, oh, I like this space here. I got my couch here. I got this cool painting behind. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to put my microphone here, and I'm going to do my podcast from here. And that's a great way too. As long as you have good lighting, are you able to bring lighting into that space? Then that's all you need, because everything you're doing for your podcast can be done from your phone. And so as long as you have a good space where you are able to create an environment that's going to be inviting for you, inviting for your guests, if you have any in-house guests, or even inviting for the guests that are going to be virtual, you want to make sure you're in a space that's clean and that represents your brand. Don't put yourself in a space that's cluttered, that's crowded with too many things, that's got too much going on, where people kind of get lost in your background versus paying attention to what you are actually asking them during your interview. So I really hope this guys helped you in terms of creating a space for your podcast. I'm Shani Sanders. Again, I'm the host of the Girl Take No podcast. Listen, if you like this video, hit the like button down, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell on this video so that you know when I'm uploading new videos in this series for podcasting for beginners. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time.